Hey everybody, welcome to En Casa con la Plaza. Bienvenidos. My name is Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications.
Welcome to En Casa con la Plaza.
Ah, that's me. Here goes.
Bienvenidos.
Double time there. Anyway,
Real delay.
welcome to En Casa con la Plaza. I'm Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications there at La Plaza. These are our weekly, 3 times a week, we bring you the best of Latino art, history, and culture from our home to yours with these conversations, presentations, demonstrations, and performances. Got a special treat for you tonight, but before I get started, let me tell you about our sponsors. First of all, we'd like to thank CVS, Aetna, Kaiser Permanente Foundation, Union Pacific Foundation, National Endowment for the Humanities, California Humanities, and the Institute of Museum and Library Services for sponsoring En Casa con la Plaza. Let's see. Those of you who've joined us on Zoom, thank you for joining us. We have our chat feature there. You could ask questions, make comments, shout outs, lo que sea. If you have, let us know where you're viewing from. Those of you who have joined us on Facebook, lo mismo. You have your chat, your comment feature right there. You could write questions, make comments, let us know where you're viewing from as well. We'd like to hear from you. Let's see, with that, let me give you an update of what's going on at La Plaza. We're open every day except Tuesday from noon to 5. We've been open since last November or so. Our gift store is also open. We have our exhibits, LA Starts Here, Calle Principal, Patriotism and Conflict, and the last week to enjoy Carlos Almaraz' Evolution of Form. Also, next week, next Monday, we're opening up our newest museum, La Plaza Cocina, a museum, teaching kitchen, and small store dedicated to the best cuisine of the world, Mexican food. So check it out. We're going to be open from 12 to 5, Monday through Friday at La Plaza Cocina on Spring Street, 550 Spring Street, real close to La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. All right, let me introduce our guest today. Before I do, let me tell you a little bit about it. Inspired by doo-wop, R&B, and early rock and roll, SoCal oldies sound reminds listeners of slow cruises on warm nights. We have tonight with us Ray Esquivel and Manny Rodarte of Sola, Sounds of Los Angeles, a Chicano-owned boutique vinyl record label founded in LA, specializing in capturing this sought-after sound with musicians and artists throughout our community. So unfortunately, it seems like Manny's having a little bit of trouble getting logging on. Hopefully he will be able to. But in the meantime, let's welcome Ray Esquivel. Welcome, Ray.
Good evening. Thank you, brother. Pleasure to be here. Gracias for having us, bro. We're honored.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Let's see if. How about you, Manny? Can you hear us yet? No, todavía no. Anyway, we'll have to do with Ray for now, and we'll see what happens throughout. Anyway, tell us a little bit about we've been hearing reading and hearing some examples of Souldies music over the past couple 2-3 years that is really like hitting the concert stages when we were open, of course, before the pandemic, and also tossed around in 45s like what you guys produce on vinyl, and also streaming online through SoundCloud and different means. Tell us a little bit about what Souldies music is.
Well, first of all, with being noticed, as you pointed out, these past couple of years, that's as long as we've been around, going on our third year, 2022. Kind of makes it seem like our work isn't in vain, right? How we started out was, oldies, Souldies, however they want to tag it, lowrider oldies, lo que sea, oldies but goodies was the older term. It's never gone away, right? It's part of our culture. It always has been, tied to the lowrider culture, right? So I guess that's where they get the tag lowrider oldies. But to this generation of ours, after us, our first generation here, Manuel's first generation here as well. Growing up in the 70s, 80s, where we grew up with the classics and stuff like that, like the Motown, the stuff put out on the radio, which pretty much everybody goes and sees. But now our kids are out, right? Our kids, our generation, this next generation is out, and they're taking it they're passing it on, right? They're doing their thing now, their renditions of it, or what they remember as growing up as kids, right? But at the same time, during that growth, during their growth in music, collectors came about, right? With the internet, right? Like when we were growing up in the 70s, 80s, we didn't have an internet. So the oldies, we were limited to what was given to us on the radio, correct? Or if we happened to travel across country, which pretty much we didn't. So it's whatever was coming out of California or the closest Southwest area, correct? So we didn't call it collectors, quote unquote, but eventually there's this group of younger generations, like kids or young adults now, or adults in their, that continued this legacy, this transformation, this evolution, so to speak, to which they started gathering with the internet. They started reaching out to across the country, across the world, and all this explosion of rare soul, quote unquote, rare soul started coming out. Smaller labels, eclectic sounds, one-offs, right? Like small pressings and things of that nature. So the vinyl started coming back. The collectors, these guys that collected all these and found all these lost oldies, right? Lost soul musics of Philadelphia, Detroit, back in New York, and all over the place. And so they started collecting them, making compilations. So they kind of made this transition into CDs, right, in the 90s and the 2000s. And these collectors started growing. This community started growing and spawning, to which brings us to the latter end of the 2000s. We're into the 2020s now, right? So that's where we came along and said, okay, great. And we had already retired. I had already retired personally from being a DJ in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, collecting my music as you go along, inspired by our friends, family, and whatnot. And but like I said, now where we're at now, it's that transition. Now it's like, okay, we've made that move from collecting these CD compilations, great CD compilations made by everybody, and we got together with this group of guys at the beginning and said, you know what we need is live music, this to be performed live, because you have all these bands spawning everywhere. They play the classics, got it, there's nothing wrong with that, but it gets redundant, and then new bands come along with the same thing. It's like, no, we need a band that plays the rare soul, right? The stuff that isn't out there, like this classics were. So that was the birth of Sola Records. By the way, it's not, I know people call it Sounds of Los Angeles. They are the Sounds of Los Angeles because we're out of Los Angeles, but it just stands for Sola. Like, we stand alone. We don't want to be like everybody else, because we're not the first ones. We're not the first label. We don't claim to be the first Chicano label. I know there's a couple out there that are probably about the same time we all came out. So I won't go as far as saying that, but what we wanted to do was, we saw the labels that were predominant taking over this thing of ours, which is the Souldies community, Souldies music, oldies, right? Soul music. They weren't Chicano owned. They weren't even from LA, let alone California. They weren't from here. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if there's a vacuum in this capitalist country, someone's going to take advantage of it. But we're not about that. We're about protecting what's ours, educating, and saying, hey man, don't let this somebody walk in here and try to dictate this narrative. This is our thing. If where are all the Chicanos out there, what do you need more inspiration than this? I mean, we have the talent. It's obvious. Look at all the artists that are out there. Joey Quinones, Trish Toledo, Mariah. I mean, all the camps out there, these great artists, they're all here. A lot of them are from Los Angeles. Some of them are not, but they're from the Los Angeles County, you know what I mean? And they're from here, and they're Latino, they're Chicano, and they're making big waves with this music that belongs to us. But yet, they're not on anything that's Chicano-owned or anything. So,
well, that's what makes you unique. And I think we have Manny on. Manny, could you hear us? Well, we could hear. We could. I think you could hear us, but we can't hear you. All right. Well, maybe he'll get it yet. But thank you, Ray, for that. In the meantime, let's welcome Bernice Gallegos watching from Whittier. Hello, Bernice. Maria F. Fernandez joining from Inglewood. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us tonight to talk about and listen to some Souldies. Tell us about this first image I have here.
That, my friend, is the original Sola logo, the icon in the middle, which is a hand. That's a handwritten. That's by an artist. His name is Germán. He's a Chicano from the community. You know, prison art. You know, no hiding the facts. You know, prisoner, ex-prisoner, but you know, very artistic, brother. You know what I mean? Very artistic. That we hired him, right? We commissioned him to come up with a logo for us, and he just nailed it. You know, he nailed it. You know, to some people it might come across as ethnocentric, but hey, we're not going to hide our identity. This is who we are. You know.
All right. And what was you know, you shared with us. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Oh, we have Manny there. Manny, are you there?
He popped in and he disappeared.
He did. Okay. Well, is he always like this, or does he?
No, no. We're not. We're showing our age here, brother. We're showing our age with technology.
You know, well, for one, you know, you weren't. What caused you to really take that step? To, you know, you were a DJ. You're a musician yourself. To really take the step in creating a label dedicated to Souldies music.
Well, again, the thing was that we saw all these beautiful Chicano, Latino artists, you know, continuing this legacy in their renditions, the way in their perspective is what they feel their soul music is, right? It's no different from the 50s when the young kids wanted their rock and roll, right? They didn't want their parents' music, they wanted their music. So we're seeing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. All we're saying is, right, because we're in I'm 56 this September. I'll be 56. So what we're saying is the majority of these artists out there are my kids' age. They're in their 30s, you know, maybe early 40s or late 20s. They're right in there, and that's fine. That they all pretty much have the same backdrop story. Is that a history? Is that, you know, they grew up listening to this, their parents, their uncles, their cousins, their tios, whatever. All we're saying is like we are those tios. And what we saw being played was a little bit, how would I say? It's not. We don't mean to offend. It's like, okay, it's straying into like soul R&B, other than just soul from the barrio. Like we're starting to lose a little bit here. And to us, all it was just like, hey, let's start this thing and kind of re-educate and say, wait a minute, that the sound you guys are hitting is good. This beautiful music. It's just it's like melting into something else.
Okay, so you're trying to keep it more authentic and more rooted. Correct. To the community. All right.
Well, very much so. Very much so.
Well, tell us about what this is here.
That was the group that we started with. It was a group of guys. Manuel Rodarte was very instrumental in this group. When we decided we needed a band, right? We needed a band to play our rare soul music, the collector's music that we have on vinyl that no one's doing. That'll really change the game, right? In live entertainment. So we all were looking for, everybody's looking for a band. And Manuel found a guy, Tony Teclado, you know, which is one of the founders, if not the founder, but one of the founders, I think, along with Eric Crucial, of the Illusions, and they're from East LA. They're you know, from East LA as well. So Manny found them, got together with them, let us know about. We found a group that is already on the same path. We connected. It was something like God sent, like, okay, you guys have the same idea, we have the same idea, And if you talk to the Illusions one day, they'll tell you they don't want to sound like everybody else. So that's what kind of connected us, like solidified us, like, okay, boom, we're going to get this started with you guys. And hey, let's do a record. And that was like, okay, but nobody has any record experience. Nobody has any kind of experience like that. It was controlled chaos, as you could, I guess, best way you could describe it. We all did what we could with it. That jacket right there, that artwork was done by Chris Bourbon, I believe his name is, which is the drummer, a drummer for another band that with the Sinceres, and he's played with other bands. They're friends of the guy. They all know each other. But yeah, that was the first record that we pressed, which ended up being their debut with an original piece they did called Thunderstorms and Earthquakes, written by, I believe it was written by also Tony Teclado, Eric Crucial, and Jeremy Taylor, I believe. They wrote the song and the lyrics and the music. I think Tony and them had a lot to do with the music. But yeah, that was our first record that we pressed, and we got it out, and it just blew up. It blew the scene all over the place.
Well, let's check it out. Let's check it out here. Hold on. Oops, let's see.
I'd like to tell you a little story about a boy and a girl who fell in love. And like any other love, they fell so deep. But as time passed them by, that love seemed to fade away. So here I am to tell you about his story, about his pain. Talking about cold days and rainy nights, this burning pain.
All right. Well, that sounds very sweet. Very sweet. Thank you. All right.
Thank you for that.
No,
Memory lane. Memory lane.
Yeah. That was what? Oh, did you join us?
Can you hear me now? Yes.
Manny's alive.
Well, I've been slowly in the background listening, but I'm good.
Well, thanks for joining us, Manny.
Hey, gracias for having me, and all the listeners out there. Muchas gracias for taking interest in Sola Records. But something Ray forgot to mention about the Illusions, we recorded that at the Sound Factory Studio in Hollywood, you know, through the help of Gabe Rowland, which is another music producer, and he works with Los Yesterdays, you know. So a lot of thanks to a lot of people for opening the doors for us to get a lot of these projects started initially, especially the Illusions, because the Illusions pretty much broke the market for us in the neighborhoods and the communities to help set this kind of rare soul sound out there for us. But thank you. Gracias.
Yeah.
So Ray was saying that you found him. You were the one who kind of discovered, or at least brought him to the record label. So
to the forefront.
How that came about.
To the forefront. And it's a funny story because, you know, when you know, nothing is real until it's real, right? So I had a group of guys in the backyard, and I'm trying to convince them to invest in Sola Records. Like, hey, I found a band. I've been at the recording studios with them. We put the pieces together, check them out.
Froze up there.
Any good, you know.
Yeah, we were questioning, are you sure,
story.
Manny? Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure? Are you sure, guys? So I heard a lot, right? I heard a lot, and And I'm glad that the guys had enough faith in me to say, you know what, Manny? Yeah. So we did our first show at McGay's, and man, they loved it. And I remember the first thing the Illusions told me, they're like, wow, Manny, he goes, all these people are here to see us. They don't even know us. I'm like, don't worry about it. They know us. Just blow their socks off and sing away. And from there on, it's been a legacy for, it's been a story to tell for Sola Records. So that was just a inside story to share with everyone that, you know, with a journey comes, you know, you know,
Trials and tribulations, right?
stories like that.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you. Well,
trials.
well, that's what we want to hear. We want to hear those stories. You
What
know,
to hear the cheese man.
yeah, one story I do want to hear is,
Yeah.
is first of all, what compelled you to do vinyl, to actually get these pressed on 45 discs? You know, what was that about?
Well, to tell you, our main goal was to continue the rare soul scene for us, because we run in this genre throughout LA that's really really close knit, right? Once you join this genre, everyone knows each other, everyone loves each other. It's like a familia. And in order for us to start getting that genre, that sound, I understand we all grew up with oldies, but the rare sound is really, it's really difficult. It's a new thing for people, especially if you don't listen to oldies, right? So it was a funny story trying to convince everyone to continue this movement and to start searching and finding pressing plants to record this. Because, you know, the hardest thing to press a record when you have 6 investors is to try to get it done, right? Because everyone has all these brilliant ideas, but the thing is, if it doesn't get done, they're just brilliant in your own mind. So it was a challenge. We found the record label, you know, people invested their money, and, you know, and we went from there. So, and we were fortunate to get the first record pressed, and that's the story to tell. Another achievement to tell.
Just get it pressed, man. He kept saying, just get the damn record pressed.
Yeah, I remember. Ray remembers. I would just argue with everyone and just tell them, we need to get this record pressed, and just so many prolonged meetings with the Illusions, with us, and getting everyone on the same board to agree to, you know, to what our vision was. Then we finally got it done. And it's unfortunate because once we got that record done, it just, you know, the doors just opened for us, and, you know, we were able to connect with other artists and record other music. But there's achievement there for you guys.
Right.
So yes.
Well, that's fantastic that it got done.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. You know, you have these ideas. Everybody's got ideas, a lot of creativity, but to actually take those steps to make it happen. So how many pressings, how many copies were made, and did they sell out?
Actually, we pressed 500, and as soon as we put it up, within 17 hours, 500 pressings were sold out.
Wow, that's fantastic! Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. And we didn't know that people were waiting on this, and I kind of had a feeling, because we had done so many shows at the VFWs. We were actually from McGay's to the VFW to a third show, and we had introduced the band live to everyone, but yet the rest of the world hadn't heard of the Illusions, but they have heard of our music, you know, through videos. People were posting videos, and then we pressed 500, And then within 17 hours, we were sold out, and, you know, blessed to everyone and to our Lord Maker upstairs for watching over us to get this done. And we were really grateful, right, Ray? We were grateful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah.
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 Wow.
All right. Well, let's do see who's watching here. We have Cristina Anguiano from Inglewood. No, from
Oh,
Whittier.
nice.
Excuse me. She's coming in from Whittier.
Oh,
We have,
nice.
Really?
yeah, Debbie Torres watching from La Puente.
Nice.
Nice.
Guadalupe Diaz Isa says, "Wow, that takes me back, but it's just right for the Valentine's month." That's that first song
Right?
that you played.
There you go.
Perfect.
See, yes, exactly.
And
Yes.
Lisa Morales Bartholomew, love jams on the radio. G and Lisa. She's locked
Yes.
Yeah.
from Sacra Califas, our Familia Sola Records, Raymond and Manuel.
Yeah.
Thank
Very,
you.
very,
Thank you, guys.
very instrumental, those two right there from Love Jams on the Radio, on legalcrimeradio.com up north in Sacramento. Again, our extended family isn't just here in Los Angeles. It's all over. And as these next three pressings that we did over the past 2 years prior, we found out that the rest of the world was hungry for this. Mind you, it had already been out with other labels, right? Other bands. But for some reason, they took a liking to us, and we like to believe it's because of the Chicanismo. It's because of that. They, not to knock the other labels, but again, it's like something that we can call ours. We were more than just an option. We're tired of being the consumer. In the words of Jose Valle from Raza del Sol, which he has a record label up north in San Jose. You know what I mean? And it's, in other words, it's like what Manny was saying, when we started this, it wasn't just a one-way highway, my brother. It was more like to educate and to inspire. And I think it's doing that. And other people, it just blew up. It just like, okay, boom, boom. Now you got other Chicanos starting record labels, and everybody's after, we got to get this press. We got to get this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful time to be like Sal Castro said, right? It's a beautiful day to be Chicano.
There you go. All right. Well, here we have another artist on your label, Adrian Carmine. Who signed him? Where'd you find him at?
That was interesting. When after the sellout of the Illusions record, a little bit after that, we went along a little path of some growing pains, and then we needed another artist, right? So we reached out. We found him on Instagram. It's where these kids like survive or live on, basically. And then within the music community, of course. And then I said to Manny, I said, "Hey man, there's this cat right here, man. There's like nobody's paying attention to this guy, and this guy's got pretty good stuff." So we ended up talking to him. Ended up setting a meeting with him over the phone at first. And very intelligent, he's very, very good. And so we brought him along, and he wanted to make an album. He said, "Well, we don't make albums, but we do 45s, and maybe we'll do albums later. But right now, this is what we're on, and we're just getting started. You want to become of this family?" And I think what sold him was that we were in the middle of deciding to build a studio. Manuel we had talked about this before. The only way to have control over things like that is to have our own studio. So Manuel agreed to that. So we kind of pitched him that, and I think that was the selling point, because he responded. He goes, "Yeah, man, we can. That's great. We can have our own little hit factory." So right after that, it was a no-brainer, and he was along for the ride, and he's still with us. One thing that we want to make clear, and we're not like the old stereotypical labels, where you sign them for a year, 2 years, they belong to us, they can only write for us. We don't do that. We don't tie them down like that. We they can do what they want, they can record what they want, and all we just ask is, when you're working with us, just be, when we're working together, it's our thing, and then when you do your thing, we're not going to ask who you're working with or what you're doing. There's none of our business. The point is that let them have their freedom. It's about them. Let them do their thing, but also believe in what we're doing. And not everybody's hip to that, right? But he was. So he all of a sudden he's the new golden boy for some reason. Everybody wants to work with this guy because by working with us, it opened doors up for instance, Jackie Mendez, right? Jackie Mendez was well known throughout the reggae, ska, and scene and punk scene and Chicana from here from El Monte, South El Monte. But she, that scene is like, okay, that's not really like in our culture, right? As much as say soul music is. So when we reached out to her via Tony Medina from the Illusions, we tied them together with Adrian, and we said, okay, now we have let's work with her. Her song came about, Nera.
Right.
Nera.
Well, you're getting ahead of us here. Let's listen to it.
Okay.
All right. Here goes. Oh man, pretty sweet there. That is fantastic. I love the harmonies behind them, the little the background, and the whole band is kicking. Sounds good. He's got a great voice, great sound, great look. Who shot the video?
That was one of their friends. Adrian has a friend that does videos and stuff. So
Right.
she, we paid for that and came out with that little masterpiece there. It was beautiful. We were happy with it. And yeah, that was one of Adrian's friends. I forget the name. I should have got the name for that the girl, but she did awesome work. Obviously, right? Obviously.
All right.
And that song was a seed planted by Manuel. It was inspired and was out of a concept. One of Manuel's rare vinyl songs.
Nice. Well, we have Edith Martinez. Hello from Montebello.
Hi, Edith.
Veronica Lozano Ruiz Carrillo says, hey guys.
Hey,
Right
guys.
on. Hola.
Right on.
And Lisa Morales Bartholomew, great song by Adrian Carmine.
Gracias,
Amen to that.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Amen.
Right. You brought up Jackie Mendez. Jackie Mendez, who already had a bit of a career going on with the different genres of music. How'd you get her into the fold?
That was a meeting we had with Tony Medina during the pandemic, the first year. Just dreaming, man, of hopefully, because we were in the middle of looking for a venue to host a big show at the time. And we were talking to Tony. Of course, this was after they split up and they went on their own. We talked about having this big show and if they wanted to be part of it. And we wanted to show solidarity and we wanted to show the unity of all these artists, right? Not just the ones that are catching all the eyes, but like, for instance, the Illusions and Jackie, Adrian, none of these people were really getting a second look, and we get it. They're the new kids on the block, they're the new people, right? So we were planning this big gig, this big venue thing. and we wanted it to be a diverse music, right? Not just oldies, So he suggested, hey, how about reggae too? I said, that's fine too, And he mentioned Jackie. He goes, oh, I have a friend. So we looked her up on Instagram, and she had a little clip of this song, Back Burner, but it was just like a little clip. And I was like, oh, wow. So I shot out to Manny, and I said, hey, man, check this out. Check this out. I think this is a good idea. And it went from there. And then Manny took over after that. He went to the studio, right, Manny? After that.
Yes.
So he
We were
took
in the
over after
studio.
that.
So it seems like each of you have your own different roles that you play in Sola Records.
Yes.
We do and we don't. At the end, of course, it's just us two. But yeah, we do what we can. We learn as we go. We've done a lot of research from the past, even before we started again. But yeah, we hand off stuff. No, there's no one. It's not like there's one boss. It's nothing like that. It's always been a collective. It's always been a sharing of ideas. You have to learn. First of all, you have to learn how to be part of a team, right? Everybody says, yeah, I'm a team member, I'm a team player. It's like, oh, it floats to the top real quick when you're not a team player.
Right.
And a lot of things you have to understand. You have to be able to take correction, right? To take instruction. You have to take constructive criticism, all these things, and those things come with age. And I guess a lot of kids or younger people or people in general, if you're not used to that, you could be like, I'm out of here, I'm not going to take this or whatever. But I think that's what works for us. We have the same philosophy in life. We have a lot of similarities you have to have with somebody you're doing business with. And the old saying, oh, don't do business with your friends or your family and stuff. I get it, but there's also that 1%, that maybe if it's that small, that do work. I give props to the people that always help me. I'm not perfect. Again, people that's helped us out. I missed a few at the beginning. Yes, Gabe Rowland, Mike Noriega. They hooked us up with the Sound Factory. Lisa, Greg, very instrumental in getting us out to the greater audiences with their radios and stuff like that. So we alternate things. He finds people, I'll find people. We share ideas. We write music together. We'll write music. I'll say, hey man, what do you think of this? So I wrote another song. Check this out. Let's shoot it to Adrian. We're multi-talented, multitask, multi-hatted people.
All
You
right.
have to be that way.
Yeah.
You have to be that. It's insane. We
Yeah,
don't
it
sleep
is.
for number one. Manny has to sleep because now he's back at work, but I don't sleep, man. And Greg, Lisa, everybody that knows me knows, man. You can call me at 4 a.m. I'll probably be up.
All right.
Yeah.
I will be writing something, listening to something, or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's listen to a little Jackie Mendez here, okay?
Beautiful.
There you go.
They say the nice ones finish last. I know too much about that. I guess it's all just a race, and how much you can take. I try to say how I'm feeling. You tell me take it easy. Your mind changes like the seasons. We can't seem to reason. So don't you put me on the back. So don't you put me on the back.
All right.
Right.
That is pretty cool. She's got
Diversity,
a good vibe.
right?
Yo,
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
I love
Beautiful
her energy.
spirit.
Love her
Yes,
energy.
Yeah.
very, very much so. And that showed our again, people are going to look at that and say, well, that's not oldies, that's not souls. Like, no, but it's there. You got to give these kids I call them kids because they're my son's age, but you got to give these young adults, right? You got to give them their room to expose themselves. Be creative. That's who they are. Yeah, it's not exactly what you would put in an oldie lineup, but this is who Jackie Mendez is. But wait for the stuff she's got coming up next, or even the flip side of that record.
Yeah.
You know what I
Speaking
mean?
of the flip
So
side, here we have it. The flip side here.
Yeah.
Girls have feelings just like boys do.
there you
Yes.
go.
And does she write her own music?
Yes, she
Yes.
does.
Yes, she does.
Wow. Fantastic. And how did that single go? How did that record do?
Oh, so the record, first I want to say shout out to our artists because they're very beautiful, creative people. And as you can see, each one's cover was created by the artist and us, of course, but their ideas, their concepts, beautiful. Girls Have Feelings Too. It's actually a cover from a Della Humphrey song from back in '63. But like in the Souldies game, it's about feeling, right? The songs are about feeling. It's about, it's not just making the girls cry, but it's also telling the guys, hey, you hurt my feelings too, and this is why. So that's why this song was really special for us. And and we're really blessed to have Jackie sing this song. And it did very well. We pressed 500 records. And once again, we sold out. About in 2 weeks' time, we sold this record out worldwide, 500 presses. So we did very well with this record. Yes.
So tell me, how do you sell them? Is it online? Is it the gigs? Is it just
Well,
opening up the car door or the car trunk and selling them out of your
no, it's not like
I'm not
that
trying to
anymore.
remember. I'll let Manny tell me. I don't want to remember.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. In order to reach the world, I'm blessed with the internet, right? Social media. They allow us to reach places that we've never reached before. We've sold records as far as Vietnam, Thailand. So we sold records there. We sold these records in the UK, in Europe, Japan. So besides the United States itself, like you'll be really surprised that a lot of this music that we make in our community, it gets sold everywhere else. And then LA catches up on it a little bit late on our sound. So it's just because we're so blessed to have it all the time that we really don't think about that this is something special coming out. So when people ask us, hey, you have any more of those Jackie Mendez left? No, we're pretty much sold out. They went to Texas, they went to the UK, they went to the eastern side of the United States, Midwest, they went to Japan, they went as far as Thailand, Vietnam, and yeah, so Jackie did very well.
Well, those
Oh,
are
yeah.
real collector's items, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they are. And
that Illusions one, right, Manny?
yeah, the Illusions ones on Discogs, it's already, it's already has a price value. Jackie Mendez, and then don't be surprised with the Nera records. And then it all started because we were taking so long to put this Illusions record out. I put a record out on the Chicano Roots label. So technically that is the very first Sola record ever put out. And I wrote the song. I helped write part of the song for Love Changes. I redid Crystal Ball, and I pressed 300 of those records, and those sold within, what was it, Ray? 300 sold right away.
Yeah.
Right?
Really quick.
It was
Online.
Really quick.
Well,
Yeah.
here's a few more people that have joined us. Veronica
Oh, okay.
Lozano Ruiz from Lincoln Heights.
Oh, okay.
Órale, right on.
Greg
Yeah.
Bartholomew. Greg Bartholomew said, our hermanos. Big hand claps there.
Right on, G.
Thank you.
Órale,
Thank
G.
you.
Gloria,
Great. Gracias.
Gloria Lisa Rodriguez. She loved that song, that second song we played. Laura Leija says, love what you're doing. Nice music.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gloria Lisa Rodriguez, she loves the lyrics. It's a nostalgic style and she loves it.
See what I mean? Yes.
Thank you.
And then,
And we're nostalgic guys. We're
yeah.
nostalgic.
We're relics.
Laura Leija says, the thing I love about oldies is that the music is respectful, decent, and I love that you guys are doing such a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gracias. Gracias. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, we heard you spoke of Nira. So tell us about Nira.
Go ahead, Manny.
Okay, Nera. So Nera was the lead singer. She was singing with the Illusions when we first put out the first, our first record with the Illusions. You notice thunderstorms and earthquakes, and then the flip side is Nera, and then Nera moved on, so we were able to capture her and make her impress her first 45, and you know, and Nera, she's just a special artist. She's just a special woman. She has a beautiful voice. And the Nera record, as soon as we pressed that, 500 records, that pretty much sold out also. Like, I don't know what it is with us. I don't know if they're watching over us, the soul gods, but you know, it seems like everything we were putting out, you know, comparison, you know, we're not one of the big labels. We're not a Coal Mine. We're not a Penrose, but you know, we try to, you know, we're from the neighborhoods, and we write our own music, produce our own music, and we try to put the best music out there that we're familiar with, that nobody can touch us with that, because we're rooted to the neighborhoods, and we bring that sound back to, you know, our listeners, our followers. And I guess that's what's working for us. I think that's what's working for us. And yeah, with Nera, she's a beautiful voice. She came from the Selena family. She travels a lot and does a lot of Selena music. That's what she was known for, singing. She dresses like Selena, sings like Selena. So she would do a lot of Selena shows in Texas. So we crossed her, we brought her over to the soul side and said, hey, you can do some soul, Mia, you got soul in you. And we produced those songs for her, and she killed them. She knocked them out of the park for us.
Correct. Well, let's listen to a little Nira here. Nira singing "Oh Baby." Here goes.
There you go.
Some sweet sounds there. Who wrote the song?
That's a cover that was chosen for her by the group, right? By Sola. Again, with the extensive library of all this rarity and obscure music, it was chosen. We had a system. Everybody picks a few songs, and we just dwindle it down. Let the artists choose what they feel, and that's pretty much how it was at the beginning. You know, they got to feel it. But it was chosen for her to do that by Sola, to
Oh,
do
that's
that.
nice.
That's a cover. Yeah.
And that's
The
a
other
cover.
side, yeah, the other side is is
An
her
original.
first original, her debut original, written by Adrian Carmine.
Right.
Nice. So it's like a little family. Everybody contributes, but you guys are the driving force. Well,
Well,
we
what's
Yeah,
left
that-
of the driving force?
Yeah, we're
What's left of the driving force? Yeah.
and then
well
I'm gonna share that cover that Nera sang, that Pee Wee got Chuck and Huey. They're an LA group, but that 45, if you can find it, I believe it's anywhere like $5,000-6,000 for that
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were blessed to cover it and give it back to the people because it's such a beautiful song that we just felt that it was something that we had to reintroduce to
Yeah.
our Souldies community. Yes.
That was part of the idea at the beginning as well. The covers were to introduce to the people that the rare soul. That's why we try to make it as close as possible, right, to the original. Because let's face it, who's got $5,000 in their pocket to buy the original pressing? That's even if you could find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the force behind that, or the idea behind that, the theory behind that.
Well, that that was such a beautiful song, and can't wait to hear more from her. Debbie Torres is saying Nira is badass and beautiful, and Gloria Lisa Rodriguez, what beautiful Latinas, right? Love Nira
Yes, sir.
as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
somebody here, Chris Morales. I had not heard of the genre until tonight, but I find this very intriguing. Nice sounds and grooves. So you already made
Right
a
on.
convert. You already
Thank
made a
you.
convert
We
to
got a
something.
new one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very
Thank you.
nice.
All right. Well, we're about to wrap up, but tell us, Ray and Manny, what's next for Sola Records and for the Souldies genre?
Go ahead, Manny. Let you in on that one.
Okay. So just to let everyone know, we are touring this year. We're starting in Sacramento, and then we're coming back to Fresno with Joe Batan and the Sola All Stars. So we did write 2 songs with Adrian. We co-wrote and produced 2 songs with Joe Batan. So we got that coming out in the works. But this year Joe Batan is touring with the Sola All Stars. And if you guys are in any of those areas, Fresno, San Jose, Sacramento, hopefully the Fox Theater in Pomona, Cinco de Mayo, you'll be able to catch one of our lineups shows. And then that's what we have coming up. Besides the projects that we already have in place, and we're just we're finalizing to get them to the press. Pretty much that's what we are. Right, Ray, if you want to add anything more to that.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that little tidbit of information that we were blessed last year to start working with Joe Batan, right, the king of Latin soul.
Yeah.
If everybody knows anything about oldies and Latin soul, then Joe Batan is the name. He's an honorary Chicano, and he's well loved throughout the community, throughout the world. And we were blessed. The stars, the God, it all worked out for us somehow. We connected, but we're very tied in, real close with him now. We work with him. We have some stuff coming out with him individually, stuff written by Sola for him. And then of course we created the Sola All-Star Band that's going to be backing him up through this tour that Manny was talking about. We're starting in Northern California, working our way down. We thought it was a good idea to do that since this whole area down south is kind of saturated. We figured let's go outside and come back this way, and it seems to be working. But again, our artists are on that ticket, and they're going to be performing under the banner of Capital 31 Entertainment, which are friends of ours too. That's Mike Ojeda and Joe Leyva from LA, and Mike Ojeda is from up there from Sacramento. which are friends from Lisa and the radio show, Lisa and Greg and Love Jams. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on, happening, and Joe Batan, again, we can't say thank you enough to the Lord and the stars and whatever, all the people that helped connect us to that, for that to happen. It's been insanely like surreal for us. Me and Manuel, we know we're Latin soul lovers, man, Latin jazz lovers, right? And
Yes.
for him to come and want to work out with us is a true blessing. So definitely look out for that. And like Manny said, the stuff from Adrian coming out, Jackie coming out, Nera's coming out, and we're working with other artists as well. So there's a lot of good things coming this year, towards the end of the year on vinyl. But you can catch the live shows throughout the spring and the summer and the fall.
Well,
Definitely good shows to coming near you and to LA también.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's big news. Joe Batan, big news. Touring,
Yes.
big news. New 45s dropping. That's huge. Where can people find out about this before it's too late? Before the tours
Well-
pass by, before the 500 records go, where can they find out about this?
Yeah.
Boy, the way like Joe said, man, Joe, and we call him Joe because that's how close we've become. Mr. Batan, he said, Ray, when you put my name on that record, this is gonna blow up. Can you handle the volume? And me and Manny would just say, well, probably not, but we're gonna try. You know what I mean? Probably not, but we're gonna try. So, we're on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, we're under Sola Records, simply. On Facebook, we're under Sola Records Official. Sola Records Official on Instagram. Again, we don't live on there. We don't live on there, but we do check in a lot when we need to post something. We are on there. And that's where artists reach out to us. New artists are reaching out to us. Just yesterday, somebody shot some stuff through the messengers things. And for some reason, they don't want to call us or email us. They want to message on Instagram, which is cool. I get it. That's the new generation. But it's Instagram, Sola Records Official, and Facebook is under Sola Records. And of course, individually, Manuel Rodarte is under his individual name. And my name is Raymond Esquivel as well. So we're on there on both Facebook and Instagram. I know there's a lot of other things to get on there, but we're old and we're getting used to this little bit at a time.
Oh, come on, man. You're not that old, okay?
Sure feels like it.
It might feel like it, but you're not. Anyway,
But,
well, you may have, you may be a little older than the people that are listening or making the music, but man, you guys got young hearts.
Thank you.
Really appreciate what you've done to bring this music to life, along with all these other groups that you mentioned that might not be recording with you, but that are part of this beautiful movement.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they are, and they need to be. They probably don't need the accolades, but again, we don't. As long as you're Latino, you're Chicano, brother. God bless you, man. You know what I mean? Go forward, push it, man. Don't let nobody else dictate your narrative, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Stand up for yourself.
There you
Stand
go.
up for yourself.
Beautiful words. Well, I dropped in both on the chat on Zoom, both the Instagram link and then also the Facebook link for Sola Records, and on Facebook as well. We have Sola Records, the Facebook page and the Instagram page. So that's how you could find out what's going on with Sola Records, with the artists that are going to be part of the tour, that are going to be releasing some songs, some 45s in the real new near future. So with that, Manny, Ray, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hey,
Thank you guys
gracias.
for
Thank
having us
you.
so much. God bless
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Sure.
God bless.
Any final thoughts? Come on, let's hear it.
Well, just really quick, like I mentioned, like I said, some of the other people that were intricate in this whole thing, Raza del Sol, Jose Valle, right? Raza del Sol, the Baby Cups, the Intuitions, the Heart Tones, the Solos. Those are other bands coming up. Look out for those names, people. The radio people, Love Gems on the radio, Greg and Lisa, the X-Man down in San Diego, Angel Baby on Friday nights, Biology up north. All these people were very intricate in helping us get out there. So, I mean, Mike Noriega, Gabriel, and all these people, very big people in helping us get out there. So we try not to forget people, but we're nervous. We're not used to this stuff. So anybody else, I don't know, Manny might mention somebody.
Well, we have DJ Gazelle from Industry Music Group, their artists,
right?
Mariah,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
them from that that record label. We tend to work with everyone. Or when we run into each other, there's a lot of conversation going on. So, who's writing what, who's doing what, what's on my agenda, what's on Ray's agenda. So we try to keep those on the down low, because projects and music, it's all about who gets it out there first. And we've learned this, but we don't try to fall into that or compete with that
Right.
mythology, and we try to make quality sound, quality music, and as closest to the original as we can. And it seems to be working for us. People all over the world admire that sound. So, I'm really fortunate that people all over the world love the Chicano sound, the Chicano music. And like I said, don't give up the dream, right? It's not a dream until it's real. And it's not real until you finally do it, right? So just make it happen.
All right.
And
Well,
those are
thank you
my
so much.
final thoughts.
Thank you.
Gracias. Yes.
Thank you. No, the proof is in the music, and you guys have proven yourself, because the music is out there, and it's going to continue to really bless people's eardrums, because this was a great session. Thank you so much for taking the time to spending some time here in Casa con la Plaza. Just to let you know what's going to, we're on 3 times a week. Next Monday, of course, every Monday at 3 o'clock, we have our cooking demonstration. We're going to have Jonathan Perez from Machine in East LA cooking vegetables with Mexican flavors. So that's going to be on Zoom and Facebook Live, Monday, February 7th at 3 p.m. On Wednesday, the 9th at 7 p.m., uplifting communities through large-scale art. The 3B Collective, an incredible group of young muralists, Chicano muralists, Alfredo Diaz, Aaron Estrada, Michael K., Oscar Magallanes, and Gustavo Martinez are going to be with us and talk about their large-scale mural work, and one that they recently did at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes in conjunction with our exhibition, Patriotism in Conflict, Fighting for Country Comunidad. So that's next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And finally, next Friday, Dan Guerrero Happy Hour. Dan, the man, returns with the great Herbert Sigüenza, actor, playwright, visual artist, and member of Culture Clash. So that's next Friday
Nice.
at 7 o'clock. So with that, muchas gracias. Ray,
Thank you.
muchas gracias.
Igualmente.
All right. And thanks to our sponsors. Otra vez, our sponsors being CVS Health, Aetna, Union Pacific Foundation, Kaiser Permanente, California Humanities, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and Institute of Museum and Library Services. All of you out there, if you didn't catch this entire session or you want to see it again, we'll be posting it on our YouTube page at La Plaza LA. It'll live on our Facebook page at La Plaza LA, and also on our website, lapca.org. Come and visit us down at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. We're open this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 5, and it's free of charge. Right after you visit our museum, you could walk right across the street to Olvera Street and get yourself some taquitos. And then finally, on Monday, of course, we're going to open up La Plaza Cocina, another free museum with an exhibition talking about maíz, past, present, and future. The Sacred Grain,
Nice.
a beautiful exhibit with photographs, with artesanía, beautiful, just an incredible exhibit that you got to come and check out. So, buenas noches a todos. Thank you,
Buenas
Ray. Thank you,
noches.
Manny. Thank you, everybody.
Buenas
Gracias.
noches.
All right.
Buenas noches. Gracias.
Buenas noches, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.